Captain America is both science fiction comic book superhero and real-world symbol of hope and American patriotism during World War II. But is Marvel's latest film a worthy and fitting adaptation of the Star-Spangled Avenger? Find out right now on Movieology. Based on the Marvel Comics character from World War II, a brave yet mild-mannered young soldier named Steve Rogers volunteers to undergo a series of experiments for a U.S. Army super soldier program. The military succeeds in transforming him into a human weapon, but quickly decide that their super soldier is far too expensive a creation to risk in combat. So they decide to put Rogers to use as an army celebrity and parade him across Europe to boost morale by performing in USO shows for American troops. He is even given a costume that bears the colors of Old Glory for the stage. When a mysterious Nazi faction known as Hydra emerges, led by the sinister villain Johann Schmidt, aka the Red Skull, Steve Rogers becomes the Captain America he had played on stage and earns his way into the hearts of every American, bringing hope and justice to a war-weary nation. Captain America stars Chris Evans, Haley Atwell, Tommy Lee Jones, Hugo Weaving, and Stanley Tucci. It was directed by Joe Johnston. Welcome to Movieology, your ticket to engaging the spectacular world of film from the bedrock of biblical truth. I'm Stuart Adams. Please do us a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow our Twitter. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at info@movieology.tv. And we are now officially announcing that, drumroll please, Movieology is now available on iTunes as a video podcast, and it's free. So go to this link and subscribe and enjoy watching Movieology on your iPod. Let's begin with a little history lesson. Captain America Comics #1, cover dated March 1941, actually went on sale in December of 1940, a year before the attack on Pearl Harbor, but a full year into World War II. Its cover showed the protagonist punching Nazi leader Adolf Hitler in the jaw and sold nearly 1 million copies. The intentionally political character quickly became a symbol of American patriotism and grew to immense popularity throughout the wartime period. Now it is 2011 and Marvel Studios has brought Cap to the silver screen with a superhero origin story film that is also a period piece. For the most part, the production values are very high for this movie. The acting is exceptional, especially the performances of Tommy Lee Jones and Stanley Tucci. And the production design is unique and creative. Many scenes reminded me of director Joe Johnston's 1991 feature film, The Rocketeer, and yes, that's a good thing. One of my favorite parts of the movie was the significance that it had to real history while still being part of a fictional universe and story. The film actually shows the original comic books hitting the stands as Cap gains popularity in the US as a cabaret stage performer with the USO. His mission is to boost morale among troops and sell war bonds. That is until he decides to charge into combat alone against incredible odds. This aspect of the film does a fantastic job of explaining the robust costume and banner-waving persona of Captain America's character that some might consider to be silly otherwise. There were some things that I did not like about the film. Some of the action scenes were a bit stale, and in some ways the movie felt too much like a transitional story arc. Without giving away too many spoilers, let me just say that Captain America felt like a sequel to Thor and a prequel to the Avengers, in a we have to give you this backstory so that next year's movie will make sense kind of way. These gripes are fairly minor since all the Marvel films take place within the same universe, and overlap is inevitable when you combine several franchises in this way. My biggest complaint with this movie involves the character of Johann Schmidt, the Red Skull. Although Hugo Weaving's acting performance was acceptable, I felt like the character was oversimplified and underdeveloped. Basically, the film establishes that he's evil, lusts for power, and wants to control everything, and that's about as deep as it gets. And yes, these are qualities that we want our villains to have, but there is little motivation or substance behind the emotions to make his actions have any relatable meaning. In regard to worldview, Steve Rogers is at the forefront of this movie's moral framework. Before becoming a super soldier and protector of American ideals, Rogers was a skinny kid from Brooklyn who just wanted to do his duty as a patriot. In addition to being patriotic, Rogers is extremely humble even after receiving his new power, and on more than one occasion, sacrifices himself for people he's never even met. The hero's willingness to die for others is formulaic, but it is also the biblical model for unconditional selfless love, and I don't think I'll ever grow tired of it. Now let's take a moment to thank our sponsor. American Vision is dedicated to restoring America's biblical foundation. They have invaluable resources for history, apologetics, eschatology, and worldview studies. As a Movieology fan, you are treated to 10% off all purchases at AmericanVision.com when you use the coupon code Hollywood at checkout. American Vision is the ministry that will help you understand the world you live in, so check them out at AmericanVision.com. Captain America does make some subtle political statements about feminism and diversity that aren't so much morally questionable as they are unbelievable in the context of the 1940s. Situations that might be commonplace in 2011 felt out of place in a setting that was supposed to be during World War II. Negative elements aside, Captain America: The First Avenger is an exciting and enjoyable film that stirs up pride in the hearts of American patriots, and provides a biblically consistent model for heroism and duty to country. I give Captain America 4 stars for being a slightly less than perfect adaptation of a genuine symbol of American hope in wartime, and for being a creative meshing of the comic book science fiction genre and actual events, all rolled into a model of what it means to be a true hero. Don't forget to let us know your thoughts on this movie by emailing us at info@movieology.tv, or you can message us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe to the new Movieology podcast. Until next time, I'm Stuart Adams. Thanks for watching. According to Worldview, Steve Rogers is at the forefront of this movie's Man, I wasn't really satisfied with this whole paragraph that I stole from IMDb. The attack on Pearl Harbor, but a full year into into World War II. See, I told you I could mess this up. Please do us a favor. Do us a favor. Well, then we don't want to use that outtake because that would be unoriginal. I feel weird. Rogers is extremely hungry. He's extremely hungry for humbleness. I will be whoever you want me to be, Lindsay. I will.